Hi and welcome to Spice and Pans. Today we'll be cooking ginger beef. So let's start cooking. In collaboration with Pots and Pans Culinary Studio, we are launching an incredible cooking course featuring our loved recipes. Join us in our exclusive local Chinese delight course. Sign up with the link below or scan this QR code. See you there! Before we marinate our beef, we need to cut it up first. I have with me over here 280 grams of flank steak. We need to cut off all this membrane and I'll show you how I do this. Just hold the membrane up with your knife and we'll slowly cut off the membrane. These are pretty tough, so we need to remove all this so that you have very tender beef. Once I remove all the membrane, I'll show you the next step. Now we cut out our beef. Depending on the size and shape of your beef, I would like to cut this into half. First, along the grain like this first, because I want my beef to be about this length size. So I just need to halve this up first. Now we need to cut it across the grain. As you can see, these are the grain. So we cut it this way, okay? Approximately the size of half your finger. Just slice it like this. Right? Continue to cut this and I'll show you the next step. I've cut up everything and because my stick is a little bit thick, so I'm just going to halve this. If you can't get flank steak, you can always use tenderloin, sirloin, no problem at all. Okay, something like this will be good. Alright, so we'll continue to cut the rest into sizes like this. After we are done with all this, I'll show you how I marinate them. I'll see you back in a while. Now we'll marinate our beef. Add in the juice from half a thumb size of grated young ginger. Squeeze the juice out. Keep the ginger pulp, we'll use that for later. Add in 1 tablespoon of light soy sauce. To tenderize this even further, add in 1/3 of a teaspoon of baking soda. If you're sensitive to the taste of baking soda, you can just mix it up for a while, wait for about 10 to 15 minutes, wash it off before you add the rest of the seasoning. Add in half a teaspoon of sugar, a few dashes of black pepper, and 30 milliliters of water. Mix them up all well together in one single direction. We want the beef to absorb the water, then our beef will be tender and juicy. After the beef has fully absorbed all the water, we'll add in corn flour. If you don't have corn flour, you can use potato starch, no problem at all. We'll first add in about 2 tablespoons first. We need the beef to be fully coated with the corn flour or potato flour because we're going to deep fry this later and we want them to be crispy. Mix them up. And when you don't see much of a flour again, we'll add in some more flour. So another 2 tablespoons. Gently mix them up again. You want to mix until, or rather add enough corn flour or potato starch so that it will fully cover the beef. Right? So separate them out a little bit. We still need to add a little bit more. Again, mix them up. Make sure every single piece of the beef is coated with the corn flour or potato starch. When you can separate them easily, that means the flour is enough. We are almost done. I reckon 1 more tablespoon will be good enough. So I'm using a total of 7 tablespoons of corn flour. Once you're done with this, we'll set this aside for about 5 to 10 minutes and I'll show you the next step after this. Now we're going to shallow fry our beef. Using medium heat, heat up a pot or a wok of oil. Make sure that the oil is hot enough. How do we know whether it's hot enough or not? Using a bamboo chopstick, put it in the oil. You should be able to see bubbles rising up rapidly like this. That means the oil is hot enough. With this method, you do not need a thermometer. Now we add in our beef, shake off the excess flour and put it in. We'll just need to fry this until it's a light golden brown. We'll be doing double frying on this just to crisp them up a little bit. If you cannot fit everything in a single batch itself, please fry it in 2 or 3 batches. Don't overcrowd it because the temperature will drop rapidly and it will soak up a lot of oil. Because of the size of my wok, I'll be cooking this in 2 batches. Don't move them around first, wait for the crust to form. You can just lightly push those that do not have contact with the oil. Just push it down a little bit. This method is actually what we use to do our sweet and sour pork, or rather known as kulu yok. Normally we'll coat the pork or the chicken with potato starch or corn flour, and then we'll fry them first before we mix them up with the sauce. So this is about the same way that we're doing it. It's very good for those of you who cannot take pork. I've been frying this for approximately 2 to 3 minutes. I just want the color to be a little bit deeper and for the crust to be firmer. Keep the heat constant at medium. Do not switch the heat up too high. We don't want to brown it way too fast. Right, we need to cook the beef through. Okay, something like this will be good. We'll now remove it and continue to fry our second batch. Remember, for deep frying, do not turn off the heat when you're removing your ingredients from the hot oil. Once I've fried the entire batch of beef, I will show you how I double fry them. I'll see you back in a while. Now we'll double fry our beef. Turn the heat up to medium-high. Before frying, please remove all the debris. When it's slightly smoking like this, it's time to add back our beef. Put everything in. Very gently, separate them up a little bit. This will be pretty fast. By doing so, right, you will crust up or firm up the outer crust, making this very crispy. And of course, at the same time, right, this will give you a very beautiful color and it will not be oily. We just need to fry for a while until the color is like this. Do not turn off the heat. We'll now remove the beef from the oil. After this, remove all the oil, leaving 2 tablespoons behind. And I'll show you how I make the sauce. I'll see you back in a while. Now we prepare our sauce using medium heat. We will heat up our oil again. Now the important thing to note is right after the second fry, please let the wok cool down a little bit because we don't want to burn our aromatics. I have 2 tablespoons of oil in here. Add in 100 grams of red onion, thinly sliced like this. Fry them until they are a little bit translucent. We want the flavor to be out. Now any onions will be fine, red, yellow, white, your preference. I prefer red onion because to me it's slightly more fragrant. Now remember, don't turn up the heat too high, otherwise you'll burn all your aromatics. You want to get the flavors out, and this will be beautiful. I'm only using medium heat now, please do the same. Now once your onions have softened, we'll add in our ginger. 15 grams of young ginger minced, pour it in. Remember the ginger pulp, you also pour it in. Fry them until they are fragrant. Once you can start to smell the ginger orders, we'll add in our garlic. 4 cloves of garlic chopped, put it all in. Same thing, fry until you can smell them. Once you can smell them, we'll add in water. Add in 100 milliliters of water. 1 tablespoon of brown sugar. If you do not have brown sugar, you can always use white sugar. Add in 2 tablespoons of light soy sauce. 1 tablespoon of oyster sauce. For the spiciness, I'm adding in 1 teaspoon of chili flakes or chili powder. This is optional. Mix them up. Turn the heat up to medium-high to reduce the sauce until it is sticky. This will just take a very short while. Always stir, remember. We want the sauce to be sticky enough so they can coat the beef well. As you can see, right, it's starting to thicken up. Now we add in our vinegar. You add in 1 tablespoon of rice vinegar for the tartness. If you do not have white vinegar, you can use apple cider, anything that can give tartness, or even lemon juice. Just a little while more and we add in our beef. Now when you push the sauce and you can see bubbles immediately like this, right? That means the sauce is thick enough. You add in our beef. Add in our sesame seed. Give them a toss. And finally, toss in our green onions. And ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our lunch. And now the dish is done, let's have a taste. Oh, this is smelling really, really fabulous. Let's try this. Oh, tender, juicy, a little bit of spiciness, which I love. Tartness, savory, sweet. This is really good. And I love the hints of ginger that's inside here. So ladies and gentlemen, I hope you like our video. Do click like on our video and do subscribe to our channel. And now it's your turn to cook. See you. Bye-bye. Wow, nice. Wow, I love it. I mean, when the edge is a little bit crunchy and nice. Oh, good. Very nice.